In a video that Brandon Campbell made, he talked about having some shoulder issues and some wrist flexibility problems during a back squat. And I wanted to go over kind of some mobility stuff that he can do to kind of help improve himself. This is a video for you, Mr. Brandon Campbell. And I wanted to just kind of show you kind of my take on trying to improve your shoulder mobility. So I wanted to go over what you can do to kind of help improve that position. And one of the main things that cause that issue in the shoulder is not having enough external rotation, being able to do this. So a lot of people, for some people, it could be easy just to be here. But you can see, if I open up my posture really tall and I externally rotate my palms, you can see how my wrist is basically can't get past my shoulder. I can force it in there if I have a bar, or I move my, if I move my hand out. I don't know if the angle of the camera is going to do this well. I can basically kind of move around my problem. You can see how I can get a little bit further back if I do that. But really what you want to be able to do is get underneath the bar and then come in. That would be ideal. And you can see how my wrist is breaking because I'm actually trying to show you an exaggerated position. So what we want to do is we want to, from this position here, we want to improve this external rotation flexibility. And there's lots of things that improve that position, but one of the major issues is the chest muscle, the pec major and pec minor. I would say pec minor has a bigger issue there for a lot of people because it's a very difficult muscle to stretch. So typically what's best for the pec minor is to really focus on smashing it using a lacrosse ball. If you press on there, right? So just using this as an example here, this is my clavicle, my collarbone, and if I kind of palpate the bottom ridge of my collarbone, you can kind of feel that for yourself, and then coming down right there, just below the delt right here, there's a spot where you may have some tenderness. If you relax your arm, you'll probably feel some tenderness right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig a lacrosse ball right into that spot. Okay, so here I got a lacrosse ball. But then what you're going to do is you're going to get that bottom of the clavicle here, and you're going to dig right below it, maybe move to the edge, so that you're kind of right at the junction point of the top of the shoulder and the chest muscle, and right underneath that section right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to dig right in and press into that muscle. So you're going to press, and then you're going to move your arm around. And then you move your arm around like so. You can make a little external rotation movements to kind of help tack down, press down on the tissue, and then rotate the muscle out. That way you can improve that tissue. So what I'm doing is I'm digging my muscle in there, and then I'm externally rotating my palm and shoulder to improve this movement here. The second part that I also like to do to kind of help improve this external rotation is to maybe work on this medial delt junction point. So being able to get right in here, digging into here, and just making little circles right there. So I'm right at the junction point of the medial delt, and then making little external rotation movements. Can you kind of help this out a little bit? Okay, now after you're done really smashing and crushing that pec minor and a little bit of that pec major and the delt, you allow the tissue to have a little bit more freedom to be stretched. So now that the tissue can move a little bit more freely, now we can try our best to mobilize it by using the bands and the PVC pipe. So here's one of my kind of go-to stretches that works really good, is you just kind of get in this little samurai position, like you're going to pull a sword out of your back, like Leonardo, right? And what you're going to do from this position here, my right arm here is going to push down while I sit on this wrist, so that way I can stretch out this external rotator. At the same time as I do this, remember that a big part of the back squat of holding on your back is also your neck and shoulder complex, because all this stuff here is connected. So what you're going to want to do as you stretch out, you push down on here, and as you do this, you're going to kind of tilt your head to the side and look up towards the ceiling. That way you can get those muscles of your scalene, your neck muscles. So that way it makes it a little bit easier when you're in this back squat position. You're able to squeeze the shoulder blade back a little bit higher and tighter to keep a better position so that you don't have to break here at the wrist or lose this neutral position at the wrist. Another good one too is you can try doing this external rotation torque where you hold the position here at the forearm, so you kind of hold it here in the pinky. What this will do is will help you get better external rotation, so you're rotating. So you can see how on my palm like this, I put the PVC pipe on this side here. I kind of grab here with my pinky or my palm, and I'm going to pull this way with my bottom arm here to get this external rotation. This kind of helps improve this external rotation position. And this next one, works pretty good. It's just holding it as if it were a back squat. You know, let it sit here on the forearms, or the wrists, the top of the forearm, maybe on the base of the palm would be ideal. Like typically right here will not be good because you'll end up breaking at the wrist. So you want to kind of slide it down on your rear delts. Squeeze those shoulder blades really tight together very firmly. And you can just sit here for a little while, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Maybe if you're watching a movie, this will be perfect to do. This will really help a lot You know, that's a great idea. Do this while watching a movie. If once you get flexible enough, you can hold right here wide, and what you can do to kind of activate those upper back muscles a little bit better is to do like a Klokov press, where you're basically trying to pull the bar apart like this, or the PVC pipe apart, and you're pushing up above your head, and then coming down, going up, and then going down. And this will kind of help create and improve this external rotation position. So I'm stretching here, coming down, stretching here, and then coming down. And of course, shoulder dislocations are also good. It's kind of a go-to. Remember, one of the things when it comes to mobilizing your shoulders, especially for a back squat, is you want to mobilize in the position of restriction. I'll repeat that a lot because some people just stretch for no real reason, and you want to stretch in the way that makes sense for the movement you're going to create. So in this case, this back squat position, so a lot of people who stretch their chest, who have tight chest and shoulder muscles, will just do like a stretch like this, which is not a bad idea. You know, or they'll have the band up higher and they'll stretch. Kind of what I like to do is, again, is use the same position as the back squat, squeeze that shoulder blade back, teach that shoulder blade to be tight as you stretch your chest, external rotators, and get that same position you would get in the back squat. Like so. That way you get a good stretch in the chest, and you might not feel much of a stretch. You might just feel your shoulder blade get tighter back there, and that's kind of what you want anyway, so that way you can have a much more stable position for the back squat and hit some new PRs. Another good way to do this as well is using the band, or using the PVC pipe, which is very effective. And what you'll do is you'll put the PVC pipe in the middle of this band here, and then you get in the same position like I just showed you with another stretch. Like this requires a little bit more setup, right? Let it sit here on your base of your palms, and then you're going to kind of walk forward, get a good stretch here. That way you can kind of get into a good neutral position, and you can keep your chest tall. A thinner band might actually be a little bit more effective, like the little mini, not the mini bands, but the red one I think I like better. But from here, you can do a Klokov press. This is a little bit tight of a band, but you can squeeze the shoulder blades together, push up, work. And you can kind of walk forward, you can squeeze those shoulder blades better, tighter together. And this will just allow for you to get in a better position in the squat, because now I can get my palms back there. Just be careful. You don't want to have things flying and hitting people. So I'll put that down so you can see how it just helps improve. Actually, if anything, it's not so much that I'm improving my chest mobility. I'm actually allowing my body or allowing my shoulder to actually get into that position. And it's not really necessarily a question of, oh, I need to be more flexible. It's a combination of being more flexible along with having motor patterns to get into that position, because a lot of the time being able to be in this really deep, tight shoulder blade position is tough. You know, you see Dan Green's setup on a back squat. I mean, he's tight right here. His forearm is in neutral. It's low on his back, and a lot of that because of, you know, obviously working on his mobility and maintaining his mobility as he gets stronger, which allows him to have good leverages and stay injury free. That's probably one of the most great things about him, is that he's almost injury proof, it seems like. So those are my go-to stretches. I hope this video helps you. Try these out. And as always, stay big.